Hey guys, tonight we're diving into a world where true love wasn't found on dating apps, but in stolen glances and the subtle flutter of a fan. Imagine a time when saying, I like you could be a scandal, and a simple smile across a crowded room was bolder than any modern day pickup line. We're talking about the art of silent courtship, where every gesture was a coded message, every accessory a secret whisper. You're probably thinking, wow, that sounds complicated. And you'd be right. If you were suddenly transported back to, say, Victorian England, trying to land a date, you'd likely end up accidentally proposing marriage to someone's great aunt just by adjusting your tie. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. You are standing in a grand ballroom, the air thick with the scent of beeswax polish and damp wool, the muffled strains of a string quartet weaving through the chatter. It's the late 19th century, and society's rules are as rigid as the corsets many are wearing. You scan the room, your eyes flitting over the assembly of respectable ladies and gentlemen, all impeccably dressed, all seemingly engaged in polite, superficial conversation. But beneath the veneer of decorum, a complex dance of courtship is unfolding. And you, my friend, are about to become a participant. Your first move. Not a word. Oh no, that would be far too forward. Instead, you perfect the art of the lingering glance. You catch her eye across the room, perhaps as she sips tea, her gloved hand delicately raising the cup. Your gaze holds for just a fraction of a second longer than strictly polite, but not so long as to be considered rude. It's a delicate balance that's a tightrope walk between interest and indiscretion. You feel a faint blush creep up your neck, but you hold firm, your eyes conveying a message that your lips dare not utter. It's like trying to communicate entirely through emojis, but with actual social consequences. One wrong emoji and you're suddenly banished from polite society. The thrill of this silent exchange is surprisingly intense. You watch her reaction. Does she hold your gaze in return? A faint smile playing on her lips. Does she quickly look away? Perhaps a blush coloring her own cheeks. Or does she simply ignore you? A clear sign that your subtle overture has fallen flat. This initial volley of glances is paramount. It's the handshake of the soul. The first tentative step on a path that might lead to, well, to more silent glances. Presumably, social gatherings like balls, garden parties, and even church services were prime venues for this non-verbal dating ritual. Young men and women were rarely left alone, and direct conversation between unmarried individuals was strictly supervised, if allowed at all. So you honed your skills in silent communication. You learned to read the subtle tilt of a head, the slight curl of a lip, the almost imperceptible widening of the eyes. These tiny cues speak volumes. A lady might hold her fan just so, or adjust a lace cuff. Each movement a potential signal. It's a bit like playing charades, but the stakes are much higher than just guessing gone with the wind. You find yourself in a quieter corner, perhaps by a potted palm, which, incidentally, was also a popular place for whispered, almost private conversations, if you were brave enough. She walks past, and your eyes meet again. This time, her smile is a little more pronounced, a hint of something playful in her gaze. You feel your heart give a little flutter. This is progress. This isn't just polite acknowledgement. This is a tiny crack in the wall of social convention. You might subtly adjust your cravat, a gesture meant to draw her eye back to you. A silent invitation for another moment of shared understanding. It's a commonly known historical fact that during the Victorian era, strict social etiquette governed interactions between unmarried men and women, often prohibiting direct, unsupervised conversation. This forced individuals to develop elaborate non-verbal communication methods to express interest, affection, or even disdain. Dating as we know it, with casual outings and one-on-one time, simply wasn't a concept. Instead, courtship unfolded within the watchful eyes of chaperones and society at large. Imagine trying to explain this to a teenager today. So, you can't just text them. You have to stare at them across a room that's creepy. The environment itself became part of the communication. A promenade in the park, for instance, wasn't just a leisurely stroll. It was an opportunity. As you pass her, your pace might subtly slow, inviting her to do the same, creating a momentary shared space where your eyes could meet again. Or perhaps you'd walk past a specific flower bed, knowing she favors roses, a silent acknowledgement of her tastes. Every detail, every movement was carefully considered, a ripple in the calm surface of polite society. You're not just walking, you're performing a highly choreographed ballet of subtle signals. It's exhausting, really. You notice her subtly adjust a rose pinned to her bodice. Is that a signal you rack your brain, trying to recall the intricate language of flowers? A yellow rose meant friendship, but a red one, passion. And what about the way it's pinned high or low, left or right? Oh, the complexities. It's like trying to decipher a secret code without the decoder ring. You suddenly feel immense sympathy for anyone trying to date back then. Forget modern dating apps. At least Tinder tells you if they swiped right. Here, you're left guessing based on rose placement and eyebrow raises. The pressure to interpret these signs correctly was immense. Misreading a glance could lead to embarrassment, or worse, a social gaffe. You had to be a master of observation, a silent detective of affections. You learned to distinguish between a polite nod and a genuinely inviting one, between a courteous smile and a truly captivating one. The slightest flicker of an eyelash, the briefest touch of a gloved hand on her fan. These were the paragraphs, sentences, and punctuation marks of your silent dialogue. It was a communication system built on nuance, so delicate it could be shattered by a single misstep. A unique or lesser-known detail about silent courtship is the elaborate fan language used by ladies. A fan wasn't just for cooling, it was a powerful tool for covert communication. Opening it wide meant, wait for me. Closing it slowly might mean, I promise to marry you. And even letting it drop could signify, I belong to you. Imagine the chaos if someone just accidentally sneezed and dropped their fan. Suddenly, they've pledged their eternal devotion to the unsuspecting gentleman across the room. Oops, hopefully, they had good allergy medicine back then. You ponder the implications of her fan usage. Was that slow flutter a sign of flirtation? Or was she just warm? You try to catch her eye again, hoping for a clearer signal. Your mind races, replaying every interaction, searching for clues. This isn't just about finding a partner. It's about navigating a labyrinth of unspoken rules and hidden meanings. It's a game, and you're determined to win, even if the only prize is another fleeting glance. The formality extended even to physical proximity. You wouldn't simply walk up and stand beside her. Instead, you might find yourself moving through a crowd, ensuring your path intersects hers in a way that allows for a brief, almost accidental, that's brushing of sleeves, that fleeting contact, so innocent on the surface, next someone could send shivers down your spine. It was a tantalizing taste of intimacy in a world starved of physical connection. Every accidental touch was a spark, igniting a tiny flame of hope. Historians still debate whether the complexity of these nonverbal communication methods truly fostered deeper, more meaningful connections, or simply created a facade of intense romance that often masked practical, familial, and economic considerations in courtship. Was it truly about soulmates communicating through the ether? Or just a highly formalized way to check off boxes for a socially acceptable marriage? The truth, as always, probably lies somewhere in between. It's like debating if modern online dating encourages true connection or just superficial swiping. I mean, probably both, right? As the evening progresses, you notice that her glances toward you are becoming more frequent, less subtle. There's a certain warmth in her eyes now. a clear invitation. You feel a surge of quiet triumph. You haven't said a word, yet you've managed to convey your interest and receive a positive response. This silent language, once so daunting, now feels like a powerful secret you share with her. The music swells, and you find yourself anticipating the next subtle signal, the next unspoken word in this elegant dance of courtship. Your heart beats a gentle rhythm, a quiet symphony of unspoken desires in the grand, hushed ballroom. You are learning the true art of connection without uttering a single sound. And who knows, maybe next time, she'll drop a glove, and you'll know exactly what to do. Having mastered the subtle art of the lingering glance, you now delve deeper into the lexicon of unspoken affection, the language of flowers. Your newfound connection, forged in the silent glances of the ballroom, demands a more tangible expression, yet still one that adheres to the strictures of polite society. You find yourself at the local florist, a heady mix of rose, lily, and violet filling the air. This isn't just about picking a pretty bouquet, it's about composing a love letter written in petals and thorns. Each bloom, each color, each arrangement holds a specific meaning, a secret message waiting to be deciphered by the discerning heart. It's like creating a floral email, but without the benefit of spell check or a delete button. Once that rose is sent, the message is out there, for better or worse. You consider the delicate blush of a pink rose. Tradition dictates that a pink rose signifies admiration and joy, a gentle blossoming of affection. Perhaps too bold for this early stage. You then eye a white lily, representing purity and modesty. That feels safer, more respectable. But does it convey enough of your burgeoning feelings? This silent deliberation is far more intense than any verbal confession. A single misstep here could send the wrong signal entirely. Imagine intending to send a message of admiration, but accidentally conveying a passionate declaration of eternal love. The scandal, you'd be the talk of the town. And not in a good way. Your gaze settles on a sprig of lavender. Ah, lavender, symbolizing devotion and purity. A subtle yet meaningful choice. Not too forward, not too meek. It whispers of a steady, growing affection. You combine it with a few innocent violets, which represent faithfulness. The ensemble is carefully chosen, a miniature symphony of silent sentiments. You pay the florist, feeling a flutter of nerves mixed with anticipation. This small bundle of blooms holds your hopes, your unarticulated desires, and the fragile beginnings of a connection. It's like sending a carefully crafted tweet, hoping it goes viral within your very select social circle. The delivery is another act of subtle choreography. You wouldn't simply hand her the flowers directly, that would be dreadfully improper. Instead, you arrange for them to be delivered to her home, perhaps with a card bearing only your calling card, or a discreet, almost illegible initial. The mystery is part of the allure. She must discover the meaning, decipher the code, and wonder about the sender. This adds another layer of intrigue to the courtship, transforming a simple gift into a romantic puzzle. It's like leaving a cryptic scavenger hunt clue, hoping she follows the breadcrumbs to your heart. It's a commonly known historical fact that during the Victorian era, the language of flowers florography was an incredibly popular and intricate system of communication, particularly for expressing emotions that couldn't be openly spoken. Entire dictionaries were published to help people understand the symbolic meanings of different flowers, their colors, and even their arrangement. This allowed for discreet communication of affection, rejection, or even gossip, all beneath the watchful eye of polite society. Imagine trying to learn all that. You'd need a floral Rosetta Stone just to figure out if someone likes you back or thinks you're a complete dork. You wait with bated breath for a response. The next social gathering feels like an eternity away. You find yourself dissecting every detail of her attire, her demeanor. Does she wear a small sprig of lavender in her hair, or perhaps a violet tucked into her sash? These are the replies to the silent acknowledgments that your message was received and understood. a small, almost imperceptible gesture, yet it speaks louder than any shouted declaration of love. Your heart does a little jig, a silent celebration of successful communication. You've sent your floral tweet, and she's given it a subtle yet undeniable retweet, but the language of flowers wasn't always straightforward. A red rose, while signifying passionate love, could also be interpreted differently based on its state. A bud for youthful love, a full bloom for mature love, and a withered rose for fading affection. Imagine the horror of sending a beautiful bouquet of fresh red roses, only to have one petal fall off en route, thus implying your passion is already dead. You'd be mortified. It's like accidentally sending a text with a typo that completely changes the meaning of your confession of love. I love you becomes I live you. Close mon but no cigar. A unique or lesser-known detail about florography is that not only individual flowers but also their placement and combination held meaning. For instance, if a flower was given upside down, its meaning was reversed. If a ribbon tied a bouquet on the right, the message applied to the giver, and on the left to the receiver. This added even more layers of complexity and nuance to the silent conversation. It's like having an entire grammar system just for flowers. Forget learning French. You needed to learn the difference between a daffodil tied with a right-hand ribbon versus a left-hand ribbon. The pressure. You might subtly bring up flowers in conversation, perhaps remarking on the beauty of a particular bloom in the garden, hoping she catches your meaning, hoping she subtly acknowledges the connection. It's a delicate dance of suggestion and inference, where directness is avoided at all costs. You're not just admiring a flower, you're admiring her. You're admiring the connection. You're admiring the entire silent, complicated dating ritual. You're a regular floral Shakespeare, but without the actual words. The risk of misinterpretation was always present. Perhaps she admired your lavender, but simply appreciated its scent, completely oblivious to your romantic intentions. Or perhaps she sent a reply of a humble marigold, symbolizing grief when you were hoping for a passionate camellia, symbolizing adoration. You'd have to swallow your disappointment and try to find a more direct, yet still socially acceptable way to communicate. It's like ordering food and getting something completely different, but you can't complain because you used a secret code. I ordered the Eternal Devotion, but I got mild sympathy. Historians still debate the extent to which florography was truly a widespread and universally understood language versus a more niche, romanticized trend among the upper classes. While florists and etiquette books certainly promoted it, it's unclear how accurately or consistently messages were received and interpreted across all social strata. Was it truly a secret code for the masses, or just a fun parlor game for the privileged few? It's like debating if everyone actually understands internet memes, or if some people are just pretending. Probably a bit of both. Let's be honest. Despite the complexities, the thrill of this silent dialogue, this secret shared understanding is undeniable. Each petal, each leaf, each shade of color carries a weight of emotion that would be impossible to express in spoken words without risking scandal. You learn to appreciate the beauty of subtlety, the power of implication, and the profound intimacy of a message understood without a single word being uttered. The language of flowers becomes your secret weapon, your silent confidant in the elaborate ballet of courtship. And as you continue to navigate this intricate world, you realize that sometimes the loudest messages are the ones that are never spoken aloud. It's a beautiful, fragrant, and utterly exhausting way to fall in love. And you wouldn't have it any other way. Having navigated the intricacies of the silent glance and the fragrant whispers of florography, you now turn your attention to another powerful, unspoken language of courtship, the careful curation of clothing and symbolic accessories. In a world where direct words were often forbidden, your attire became a billboard for your intentions, a subtle advertisement of your status, availability, and even your affections. You stand before your wardrobe, a silent sartorial strategist, understanding that every button, every cufflink, every shade of fabric is a potential message. It's like dressing for a highly important job interview where the only communication is through your outfit choices. And getting it wrong means perpetual unemployment. You consider your waistcoat? A dark, somber one might suggest a serious, perhaps even melancholic disposition. Perhaps hinting at a deep, unspoken passion? Or maybe a lighter, more vibrant color, subtly patterned, to convey a cheerful, approachable nature. This isn't just about fashion, it's about psychology, about projecting an image that subtly invites the attention you seek. You select a deep blue waistcoat, a color often associated with constancy and loyalty, a safe yet profound choice. It's a silent promise woven into the very fabric of your being. Your choice of cravat is equally important. The way it's tied, the fabric's texture, the subtle pattern, all contribute to the unspoken narrative. A loosely tied cravat might suggest a carefree, bohemian spirit, perhaps a little too wild for proper society. A tightly knotted one, conversely, could imply rigidity, a lack of passion. You aim for a knot that is neat but not stiff, hinting at both respectability and a certain relaxed confidence. A tiny pin, perhaps, depicting a single bird, symbolizing hope or fidelity. Every detail is a brushstroke on the canvas of your unspoken message. You're essentially a human mood board, hoping someone gets the vibe. It's a commonly known historical fact that during the Victorian era, clothing was far more than just protection from the elements. It was a complex system of social codes and signals. Everything from the type of fabric to the cut of a sleeve could denote one's social status, wealth, and even marital availability. Fashion was a silent conversation, understood by those who knew how to read its intricate grammar. It was like wearing your entire LinkedIn profile on your sleeve, except more elegant and less likely to get you spam emails. When you attend a social gathering, you pay close attention not only to your own attire, but also to hers. Does she wear a particular color you've come to associate with her? Perhaps a subtle lavender that echoes the flowers you sent? Is there a new brooch pinned to her dress? And does its design hold any symbolic meaning? A tiny forget-me-not flower, for example, would be a clear and delightful affirmation. These details are the reply to your sartorial message, the visual confirmation that your silent overture has been received and understood. You're constantly scanning, interpreting, deciphering. It's like being a fashion detective, but the only crime committed is a missed romantic opportunity. Consider the gloves. A lady might wear long, immaculate gloves to a ball, but the way she removes one, or perhaps tugs at a finger, could be a deliberate signal. Or perhaps she carries a particular accessory, like a small embroidered handkerchief. If she were to accidentally, or perhaps deliberately drop it in your path, and you were to retrieve it for her, that simple exchange would be laden with unspoken meaning. It's a moment of choreographed intimacy, a brief, sanctioned interaction that speaks volumes. It's like a high-stakes game of pick up sticks, but with romance on the line, and if you pick up the wrong stick, you might just pick up a lawsuit. A unique or lesser-known detail is that even the choice of hat or bonnet could convey messages, especially for women. A hat worn tilted in a certain direction, or adorned with specific ribbons or feathers, could indicate a woman's marital status, her availability for courtship, or even her current mood. For men, the tilt of a top hat could also be a subtle greeting or acknowledgement. Imagine the pressure of choosing the right hat for a date. You could accidentally tell someone you're married with 3 kids just by wearing the wrong feather. You observe a particular lady at the soiree. Her dress is a delicate shade of green, symbolizing hope. Her fan, you notice, is a beautiful silk, and she holds it just so, partly open. Is she waiting for you? Is she conveying a message? You subtly adjust the boutonniere on your lapel, ensuring the single white camellia symbolizing adoration is prominently displayed. You hope she sees it, hopes she understands the silent declaration. It's a game of visual chess, each move a calculated risk, each piece a symbol. The fabrics themselves held meaning. Silk, with its luxurious sheen, suggested wealth and refinement. Lace, with its intricate patterns, hinted at delicacy and artistry. Even the way a shawl was draped could speak volumes. Tightly wrapped for modesty, loosely draped for openness. You consider how your chosen fabrics contribute to your overall message. Are you conveying strength or gentleness, passion, or quiet devotion? You try to strike a balance, a harmonious blend of textures and colors that speaks to the true nature of your intentions. It's like painting a portrait, but instead of paint, you're using threads and notions. And if you run out of blue, you're in trouble. Historians still debate the precise degree to which these clothing codes were universally understood versus being more of a fashionable trend among the elite. While etiquette manuals detailed these nuances, it's uncertain how widely and accurately they were interpreted by everyone in society, or if some signals were simply missed or misunderstood by those less familiar with the intricate rules. Was it truly a secret language, or just a sophisticated guessing game? It's like wondering if everyone really gets all the references in a cult classic movie. Probably not, but we all pretend we do. You catch her eye again. This time, she subtly adjusts a single strand of pearls around her neck. Pearls, representing purity and innocence. Is she acknowledging your adoration, but reminding you of her virtue, or is she simply uncomfortable? The subtleties are endless. The interpretations fraught with peril. But despite the risk of misinterpretation, the thrill of this silent, visual dialogue keeps you engaged. You are both participants in an intricate play, where every costume detail, every prop, every gesture tells a story. As the evening draws to a close, you exchange one last glance. Her smile is soft, and she lightly touches the green fabric of her dress. Hope. You feel a quiet warmth spread through you. You haven't spoken a single word. Yet you've exchanged volumes. The language of glances, flowers, and fabrics has woven a delicate tapestry of budding affection. You step out into the cool night air, already planning your next sartorial statement, your next silent missive in the timeless, elegant dance of courtship. And who knows? Maybe tomorrow, she'll wear a ribbon in her hair that means, "Meet me by the fountain." You can only hope. You have mastered the art of non-verbal communication through glances, flowers, and clothing. Now, you delve into the even more intricate realm of subtle gestures and body language, where the merest movement of a hand or the angle of a fan can speak volumes. In this era of strict decorum, your body itself becomes a canvas for unspoken desires. Each tiny adjustment a deliberate brushstroke in the masterpiece of courtship. It's like trying to tell a whole story just by blinking in Morse code. Exhausting, but undeniably poetic. You find yourself at another social gathering. Perhaps a tea party in a sun-drenched garden. She is there, of course, seated with a group of other ladies, their parasols blooming like exotic flowers around them. You maintain a respectable distance, yet your attention is entirely focused on her. This is where the truly subtle work begins. You might casually adjust your monocle, a seemingly innocent gesture that subtly draws her eye to your face, inviting a shared moment of silent acknowledgement. Or perhaps you briefly touch your chin, a contemplative pose that might signal your thoughtful nature. Every twitch, every adjustment is meticulously planned. Observe her. Is she fanning herself? Even when the air is cool, the speed and direction of her fan are crucial. A slow, steady fanning could mean, "I am interested." A rapid, almost agitated flutter might suggest, "I am agitated," perhaps by your presence, or by the lack of it. If she closes her fan quickly and precisely, it could be a warning. "My parents are watching." It's a literal fantastic way to flirt, but the margin for error is razor thin. One too many rapid flutters, and you might accidentally propose to her, as we learned earlier, the way she holds her teacup, the delicate lift of her pinky finger, the duration of her sips. These, too, are potential messages. Does she allow her gaze to linger on yours for a fraction of a second longer as she sips? Does she offer a subtle, almost imperceptible nod as you pass by? Acknowledging your presence, you must be a hawk-eyed observer, ready to interpret these fleeting signals before they vanish into the ether of polite society. You're essentially playing a high-stakes game of Simon Says, where Simon communicates solely through micro-expressions. It's a commonly known historical fact that gestures and body language were critical components of communication in Victorian society, especially in formal settings. With direct conversation limited, people became acutely aware of nonverbal cues. This extended to everything from how one held a glove to the way one sat or stood, all conveying unspoken information about one's character, intentions, and social standing. It was like living in a silent movie, where everyone understood the nuanced expressions and movements. Except, with sound. But not really, for flirting purposes. Consider the accidental touch. In a crowded room, as you navigate past a group of gossiping ladies, your hand might briefly, almost imperceptibly, brush hers. Does she recoil, or does her hand linger for a moment? A barely there touch that sends a jolt through your system. This sanctioned, almost accidental contact is a powerful moment of intimacy, a daring transgression of unspoken boundaries. It's the equivalent of a modern-day accidental shoulder brush that means so much more. Just make sure it's actually accidental, or you'll be on the wrong side of a scandal sheet. You might engage in a polite conversation with another gentleman, but your posture, the direction of your gaze, even the slight angle of your body can still be directed towards her. You are subtly inviting her into your orbit, signaling that even amidst other conversations, she remains your focus. It's a silent declaration of priority, a testament to your unwavering attention. You're essentially multitasking your communication, sending a message to one person with your words and a completely different one to another with your body. Impressive, if you can pull it off. A unique or lesser-known detail about Victorian gestures is the specific meaning of a dropped handkerchief. If a lady dropped her handkerchief and a gentleman retrieved it, it was not merely an act of chivalry. Depending on the context and the individuals involved, it could be an invitation for conversation, a subtle acknowledgement of interest, or even a discreet request for help. The way it was dropped accidentally or deliberately and retrieved quickly or with lingering hands further nuanced the message. So, if someone dropped a handkerchief, you had to ask yourself, is this a trap or a date? You find yourself in her vicinity, perhaps near the refreshments table. You pick up a small pastry, and as you do, your eyes meet hers. You offer a slight, almost imperceptible nod, a gesture of shared understanding. She returns it with a faint, knowing smile. This is the culmination of your silent efforts, the beautiful symphony of unspoken cues. You feel a quiet satisfaction, knowing that your language, though wordless, has been eloquently understood. It's like getting a perfectly coded message back from your crush, and you're the only one who knows what it means. The dance of gestures extends to walking. If you find yourself walking alongside her in a garden, you might subtly adjust your pace to match hers, creating a rhythmic harmony that speaks of unspoken connection. Or perhaps, as you approach a narrow gate, you might offer your arm a brief, permissible touch that is both courteous and romantically suggestive. These are the fleeting moments, the tiny windows of opportunity where true connection can be forged in a world that restricts direct expression. It's a very polite, very slow, very drawn-out version of a meet-cute. Historians still debate the extent to which these gestures were conscious and deliberate acts of communication versus natural behaviors that were simply interpreted through the lens of courtship. Was every fan, flutter, and dropped glove a calculated move? Or were some simply accidental actions imbued with meaning by an eager suitor? It's like trying to figure out if that emoji someone sent was ironic or sincere. The answer is probably both, depending on the person and the day. As the tea party winds down, you exchange one final, knowing glance with her. There's a certain ease in her eyes now, a comfortable acknowledgement of the silent dialogue you've shared. You've navigated the treacherous waters of social etiquette, communicating your intentions through a symphony of subtle gestures. You step out into the fading sunlight, your heart lighter, knowing that the unspoken language of courtship has once again proven its profound power. You've conveyed a world of meaning without uttering a single word, and the anticipation of your next silent exchange fills you with quiet delight. And who knows, maybe next time, she'll accidentally trip, and you can catch her, a truly dramatic, unspoken moment. You have become adept at the subtle choreography of glances, flowers, clothes, and gestures. Now, your journey into the intricacies of unspoken courtship leads you to the clandestine world of secret love letters and poetic verses, where the written word, carefully veiled in metaphor and allusion, carries the weight of unspoken desires. In a society where direct verbal communication of affection is largely frowned upon, the art of literary stealth becomes your most powerful tool. It's like sending a highly encrypted message, hoping your beloved has the key to decipher your deepest feelings. And if they don't, well, at least you have a nice piece of poetry. The impulse to express your growing feelings in a more tangible, enduring form gnaws at you. A casual conversation might be fleeting, a glance easily misinterpreted, but a letter, carefully penned and discreetly delivered, holds a permanence that allows for deeper introspection and a more nuanced expression of emotion. You procure fine parchment and a quill, the scratching sound a quiet counterpoint to the racing of your heart. It's a moment of profound intimacy, even if you are alone. For every stroke of the pen is a whisper intended for her ears alone. You begin to compose, not with direct declarations, but with veiled metaphors and classical allusions. You might allude to a Greek myth, where forbidden lovers find solace in secret meetings, subtly drawing a parallel to your own situation. Or perhaps you reference a passage from a beloved poem, knowing she shares your literary tastes, and that the lines you quote will resonate with a deeper, hidden meaning. This isn't just writing, it's a game of intellectual seduction, a challenge to her wit and her ability to read between the lines. It's like sending a coded message in a crossword puzzle, hoping she solves it and finds your hidden affection. It's a commonly known historical fact that in many historical periods, particularly the Victorian era, direct expressions of romantic interest in written correspondence were often avoided in favor of more subtle, poetic, and elusive language. This allowed individuals to convey deep emotions while still maintaining a facade of propriety, should the letter fall into the wrong hands. It was a form of plausible deniability, where you could always claim you were merely discussing literature or philosophy if challenged. Imagine trying to explain that to a prosecutor today. No, Your Honor. My heart doth yearn for thine sweet gaze was merely a critical analysis of Shakespearean sonnets. The choice of paper, ink, and even the way the letter is folded and sealed carries its own unspoken message. A delicate, scented paper might hint at refinement and tenderness. A bold, striking seal could suggest confidence and unwavering devotion. You consider a small sprig of the very same lavender you sent her, pressed delicately within the folds of the letter, a callback to your earlier floral missive, reinforcing the continuity of your affections. It's a multi-sensory experience, designed to captivate her senses and her heart. The delivery of such a letter is perhaps the most precarious part of the entire endeavor. You wouldn't entrust it to a common messenger, whose indiscretion could lead to scandal. Instead, you seek a trusted confidant, perhaps a sympathetic servant, or even a close family member who understands the subtle complexities of your situation. The letter must pass from your hand to hers without drawing undue attention, a silent transfer of a silent message. It's like a secret agent exchange, but instead of top-secret documents, it's top-secret feelings. And the penalty for failure isn't treason, but heartbreak. You wait, agonizingly, for a response. Every social encounter becomes a quest for a subtle signal that your letter has been received and, more importantly, understood. Does she hold her fan a certain way? Echoing a gesture you described in your verse, does she wear a particular accessory that hints at a line you penned? Or perhaps the ultimate response, a return letter, equally veiled in poetic language, equally brimming with unspoken meaning. The arrival of such a missive would be a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph. A silent confirmation that your heart has found its match in intellect and sentiment, but the perils of misinterpretation are ever present. What if your carefully crafted metaphor is lost on her? What if she reads a line of yearning as a simple appreciation for nature? The beauty of veiled language is also its greatest weakness. You can spend hours agonizing over a single phrase, only to have it completely misunderstood. It's like telling a complex joke that no one gets. You just stand there awkwardly, wondering if you're the only one in on the punchline. A unique or lesser-known detail about secret correspondence is the use of sympathetic ink or other covert methods to ensure privacy. Some individuals might have used milk or lemon juice as invisible ink, which would only become visible when heated. Others might have developed their own private codes or ciphers, known only to them and their intended recipient. This added an extra layer of romance and intrigue, turning each letter into a thrilling puzzle to be solved. Imagine burning your letter to reveal a secret message, only to accidentally burn the entire thing. You'd be left with ashes and a burning desire for a redo. You find yourself rereading your own letter, scrutinizing every word, every comma, searching for any potential ambiguities. You imagine her reading it, her brow furrowed in concentration, then a slow smile spreading across her lips as she finally deciphers your true meaning. This imagined scene sustains you through the agonizing wait. You have poured your soul onto that parchment, and now it rests in her hands, a fragile vessel carrying your unspoken affections. The composition of poetry was also a common avenue for expressing hidden emotions. You might craft a sonnet or a short lyrical poem, its lines filled with allusions to your shared moments, your stolen glances, the flowers you exchanged. This poetic language allows for a depth of emotion that straightforward prose might lack, hinting at a passion that burns beneath the surface of polite society. It's like writing a song without the music, hoping the lyrics alone can carry the tune of your heart. Historians still debate the true prevalence and impact of these secret love letters in shaping relationships. While many examples exist, it's difficult to quantify how often they were exchanged, how widely they were understood, and whether they genuinely led to successful courtships or were merely a romantic pastime. Was it a fundamental aspect of dating, or more of a literary flourish for the highly educated and romantically inclined? It's like trying to figure out if everyone in the 19th century was actually a secret poet, or if they just liked to quote Tennyson a lot. As the days turn into weeks, you cling to the hope of a response. You might carry a small, pressed flower in your waistcoat pocket, a token of your affection and a silent reminder of the message you sent. This constant presence, even when she is not near, reinforces the bond you are attempting to forge. The act of writing and sending the letter has, in itself, deepened your feelings, transforming a casual interest into a profound yearning. And then, one day, it arrives. A small, elegant envelope, bearing a faint scent of jasmine. Your hands tremble as you break the seal, carefully unfolding the delicate parchment within. Her script is graceful, flowing like a gentle river. You read not just the words, but the spaces between them, the subtle turns of phrase, the hidden meanings woven into the fabric of her prose. And there, hidden within a seemingly innocent couplet about the beauty of the spring garden, you find it a clear, undeniable echo of your own sentiment, a reciprocal whisper of affection. Your heart soars. You have communicated, deeply and profoundly, without uttering a single word. The silent language of love letters has spoken, and you have understood. You are, at last, truly connected. You have progressed from the quiet language of glances, the fragrant poetry of flowers, the subtle hints of clothing, and the nuanced ballet of gestures and secret letters. Now, your courtship journey moves into a new, equally intricate territory, the formal social gathering. where meeting her isn't a casual encounter, but a meticulously orchestrated event governed by unwritten rules and unspoken expectations. You're entering a world of regulated social interaction, where every introduction, every conversation, and every departure is a performance with its own strict choreography. It's like attending a party where everyone knows the dance steps except you, and one wrong move means stepping on someone's toes, literally and figuratively. Imagine a formal afternoon tea, bustling with polite chatter and the clinking of porcelain. You are eager to approach her, to engage in the sanctioned, if still formal, conversation that represents the next step in your courtship. But you cannot simply stride across the room. Oh no. Such a blatant display would be considered boorish, perhaps even scandalous. You must wait for the opportune moment, a chance encounter facilitated by the social currents of the room. It's an exercise in patience, a test of your ability to subtly maneuver within the confines of rigid etiquette. You feel like a chess piece, waiting for the perfect move. Except the chessboard is filled with cucumber sandwiches and disapproving glances. Your first step might be to position yourself strategically. Perhaps you linger near the entrance of the drawing room, hoping she will pass by, or you might engage in conversation with a mutual acquaintance, subtly angling yourself so that your gaze can occasionally drift towards her. The goal is to create an illusion of accidental proximity, a coincidental meeting that masks your deliberate intent. This careful planning is crucial. Any perception of eager pursuit could be detrimental to your prospects, marking you as overly zealous or, worse, desperate. It's like trying to get noticed by your crush without actually trying to get noticed, which is basically the entire high school experience in a nutshell. When the moment finally arrives, perhaps through the intervention of a chaperoning aunt or a benevolent host, the introduction is a formal affair. Miss Everhart, may I present Mr. Caldwell? The words are exchanged, bows and curtsies performed, and then, at last, you are permitted to converse. But even now, your words must be carefully chosen, your tone impeccable. You begin with polite inquiries about her health, the weather, perhaps a recent concert or art exhibition. Nothing too personal, nothing too direct. The conversation is a delicate dance, each partner testing the waters, feeling out the other's temperament and wit. It's a commonly known historical fact that chaperones played a central role in formal social gatherings, particularly for unmarried women. Their presence ensured that no improper conversations or clandestine meetings took place, maintaining the strict moral code of the era. A young woman was rarely, if ever, left alone with a male suitor, and any interaction had to be conducted under the watchful eye of an older, respected woman. Imagine trying to have a serious conversation with someone while your grandmother is literally standing right there, listening to every word. So, you like long walks on the beach? Grandma coughs loudly. You carefully steer the conversation towards topics of shared interest. Perhaps a book you both admire, or a piece of music you both appreciate. You listen intently when she speaks, offering thoughtful responses, demonstrating your intelligence and your genuine interest in her thoughts. This is where your charm and wit come into play, but always within the bounds of propriety. A witty remark is appreciated, but a cutting one is not. You aim to impress, but subtly, never overtly. It's like trying to be funny in a library. You want to make people laugh, but quietly, so no one gets shushed. The duration of your conversation is also a crucial factor. Too short, and it might suggest a lack of interest. Too long, and it could draw unwanted attention, signaling an inappropriate level of intimacy. You must gauge the flow of the interaction, knowing when to gracefully withdraw before either of you overstays your welcome. This requires a keen sense of social timing, an intuitive understanding of the rhythm of the gathering. It's a bit like knowing exactly when to leave a party before it gets awkward, a skill few truly master. You might find yourself walking with her through the garden, still under the vigilant eye of a chaperone. Of course, Here, the setting allows for a slightly more relaxed atmosphere, though the rules of engagement remain firm. You might comment on a particular flower remembering your florography. Of course, or the beauty of the landscape. These are opportunities for brief, almost intimate moments. Shared glances and quiet smiles that deepen the connection you've been building. Every step is part of the dance. Every turn of the path a new scene in your unfolding drama. A unique or lesser-known detail about formal meetings was the concept of calling cards and the precise etiquette surrounding their exchange. A gentleman would leave his calling card at a lady's residence as a formal way of indicating a visit or a desire to call upon her. The corner of the card might be folded in a specific way to convey a particular message, such as to congratulate or to condole. If the lady was at home, she might invite him in, but if not, the card merely served as a record of his attempt. It was like sending a very formal, physical LinkedIn request, hoping they accept your connection. The conversation naturally turns to families. You inquire about her parents, her siblings, demonstrating your respect for her lineage and your understanding of the importance of family in this society. She, in turn, might ask about yours. This exchange of familial information is a vital step, as it begins to lay the groundwork for future, more formal interactions between your respective families. It's like the initial background check before you even get to the first date. Except you're both performing it on each other. You notice her mother subtly glance in your direction. Is it a sign of approval, or a warning to shorten your visit? The chaperone's presence is a constant reminder of the boundaries you must not cross. You learn to read the subtle shifts in her posture, the slight tightening of her lips, knowing that these are signals from the ultimate gatekeepers of courtship. You must impress not only her, but also her family, for their blessing is paramount. It's like trying to get a job, but the interview is with the entire board of directors, and they're all judging your ability to pick up a teacup. Historians still debate the true level of agency young men and women had in these structured social interactions. While etiquette dictated strict rules, it's unclear how much individuals were able to subtly manipulate these norms to pursue genuine affection, or if they were largely constrained by familial and societal pressures in their choice of partners. Was it truly a romantic chess match, or simply a formality that had to be endured before a predetermined match was made? It's like trying to figure out if people actually enjoy networking events or if they just go for the free appetizers. Probably a bit of both, I'd guess, as the tea party draws to a close. You make your polite farewell. You express your pleasure at having had the opportunity to converse with her, and she reciprocates with a graceful inclination of her head. No promises are made, no future meetings explicitly arranged. Yet, in the subtle warmth of her smile, the lingering eye contact, you sense a mutual desire for further interaction. You have navigated the treacherous currents of formal society and emerged with a deeper connection, a shared understanding forged in the crucible of unspoken rules. You step out into the fading afternoon light, the hum of polite conversation still echoing in your ears. You reflect on the nuances of the encounter, already planning your next move. Perhaps a more formal call to her residence, or another accidental meeting at a public promenade. The game of courtship continues. Each step a careful dance, each interaction a meticulously crafted performance. And in this world of unsaid words, you realize that true connection is found not in grand declarations, but in the subtle beauty of shared understanding. A silent symphony played out across the drawing rooms and gardens of polite society. You've earned your stripes in the dating etiquette army, and now you're ready for the next mission. You have navigated the delicate waters of personal interaction, mastering the silent languages of glances, flowers, clothes, gestures, and secret letters, and even the formal dance of social gatherings. Now, your courtship journey reaches a new, pivotal stage. One that transcends individual desires and delves into the powerful, often immovable realm of family approval. In this era, love was rarely a solo endeavor. It was a communal affair. and the voices of parents and elders held immense sway over the future of any potential union. You realize that winning her heart is only half the battle. The other, perhaps more daunting half, is securing the blessing of her family. It's like trying to get a loan from a bank, but instead of financial statements, they're scrutinizing your family tree and your ability to make polite conversation. You find yourself embarking on a series of formal visits to her family's residence. These aren't casual drop-ins. Each visit is meticulously planned, a solemn occasion demanding your utmost respect and adherence to etiquette. You dress in your finest attire, ensuring every detail, from your polished shoes to your perfectly tied cravat, speaks of your earnest intentions and respectable standing. You arrive promptly, perhaps with a small, tasteful gift, nothing too extravagant, which might suggest impropriety, but something thoughtful, indicating your consideration. It's like presenting yourself for a job interview that determines the rest of your life. And the interviewers are a panel of formidable, eagle-eyed judges. The atmosphere in her family's drawing room is decidedly different from the festive air of a ballroom. Here, the conversations are more pointed, the gazes more scrutinizing. Her father might question your prospects, your family lineage, your education, and your moral character. Her mother might subtly assess your demeanor, your table manners, and your ability to converse politely. You answer every query with deference and honesty, choosing your words carefully, knowing that every utterance is being weighed and judged. This isn't just a conversation, it's an inquisition, a comprehensive background check designed to determine if you are a suitable match. And there's no skip to next question button. Her siblings might offer their own forms of subtle assessment. Her brothers might test your wit or your knowledge of current events, while her sisters might observe your interactions with their parents, looking for signs of genuine affection and respect. You must engage with each family member, showing appropriate interest and courtesy, demonstrating that you are not merely pursuing their daughter, but seeking to become a respected member of their extended familial circle. You are performing for an audience of your future in-laws, and the stakes are incredibly high. It's like auditioning for a play, but the role you're trying to land is son-in-law, and the reviews will last a lifetime. It's a commonly known historical fact that parental consent was absolutely crucial for marriage in many historical societies, including the Victorian era. Marriages were often seen as alliances between families, not just individuals. Parents had a significant say in choosing their children's spouses, often prioritizing financial stability, social standing, and family reputation over personal affection. While romantic love gained more prominence over time, the practical considerations and the blessing of the family remained paramount. Imagine trying to explain to your parents today that you're moving in with someone they've never met and whose last name they can't pronounce. They probably wouldn't approve. You notice her mother's eyes on you, a steady, calm gaze that seems to pierce through your polite facade. You return her gaze with respect, conveying your sincerity without being overly familiar. It's in these subtle interactions that you hope to earn their trust, to show them that your intentions are honorable and that you genuinely care for their daughter. You might discreetly offer a compliment about her daughter's accomplishments or character, not directly to her, but in a way that her mother can overhear, subtly planting seeds of approval. This requires a level of finesse that could rival a seasoned diplomat. The topic of dowry or inheritance might subtly arise in conversation, often discussed indirectly through veiled references to family estates or financial holdings. While vulgar to discuss outright, these economic considerations were often at the heart of parental approval. You must convey your own respectable financial standing, or at least your potential for it, without boasting or appearing mercenary. It's a delicate tightrope walk between demonstrating capability and maintaining an air of genteel modesty. You're trying to show you're financially stable without pulling out your bank statements. A unique or lesser-known detail about parental approval was the extensive background checks families would often conduct on potential suitors. This wasn't just about wealth. It involved discreet inquiries into a gentleman's reputation, his character, his habits, and his family's history. Stories of impropriety or financial instability could quickly derail a promising courtship. Families had their own networks of informants and gossips, ensuring that every detail, however small, was scrutinized. It's like a private investigator running a full report on your potential spouse. Only it's your future mother-in-law doing the investigating. You might find yourself invited to a family dinner, an even more intimate and revealing setting. Here, your table manners are put to the test. Your conversational skills are under closer scrutiny, and your interactions with the entire family are observed. You ensure you are attentive to everyone, from the youngest child to the oldest grandparent, showing respect and consideration for the entire familial unit. Every forkful of food, every sip of wine, every shared anecdote becomes part of your performance. It's a full contact sport, but with elegant silverware, the conversations often revolve around family values, traditions, and expectations. You listen carefully, absorbing their cultural nuances, subtly aligning your own views with theirs where appropriate, demonstrating your willingness to integrate into their world. You express admiration for their family's achievements, showing that you recognize and value their legacy. This isn't about changing who you are, but about showing that your values align with theirs, ensuring a harmonious future. It's like trying to find common ground with a new set of friends. But the friendships are for life, and they come with a marriage certificate. Historians still debate the extent to which genuine affection, even when present, could overcome a lack of parental approval or significant familial objections. While stories of elopement exist, they were often rare and carried severe social consequences. Was there truly a pathway for love to conquer all? Or were most individuals ultimately bound by the will of their parents and the expectations of their social class? It's like debating whether the hero truly chooses their path or if fate has already written their destiny. The truth probably varied greatly from case to case. As the visits continue, you begin to sense a subtle shift in the family's demeanor. Her father's questions become less probing, more genial. Her mother's gaze softens, perhaps even offering a small, encouraging smile. The siblings include you more readily in their conversations. These are the precious signals of acceptance, the silent nods of approval that indicate you are slowly but surely being welcomed into their fold. You feel a growing sense of relief and quiet triumph. Knowing that your efforts are bearing fruit, it's like getting the official seal of approval from the highest authority. Except this authority can make or break your future. Finally, the moment arrives when you have a private, yet still formal, conversation with her father. He speaks of his daughter's virtues, his hopes for her future, and then, perhaps, he subtly conveys his blessing for your courtship to proceed to the next stage. It's not an explicit declaration of acceptance for marriage. Not yet. But it's a clear indication that you have passed the initial test. You express your profound gratitude, reiterating your honorable intentions and your commitment to her daughter's happiness. You leave their residence, the weight of their approval a warm glow within you. You have navigated the intricate maze of familial expectations, and you have emerged victorious, or at least significantly closer to your goal. The journey of unspoken courtship continues, but now it carries the added weight and blessing of her family. You realize that in this era, love was not just a feeling, it was a carefully constructed edifice, built brick by brick with silent glances, fragrant flowers, symbolic clothing, nuanced gestures, veiled letters, polite conversations, and, most crucially, the solemn approval of those who held the keys to her future. You are now, officially, in the family's good graces, and the path to a formal proposal, though still shrouded in ritual, feels just a little bit clearer. You have navigated the delicate waters of personal interaction, mastering the silent languages of glances, flowers, clothes, gestures, secret letters, and even the formal dance of social gatherings. You've successfully secured the blessing of her family, a monumental step that often proved to be the greatest hurdle. Now, your courtship journey reaches its crescendo, the moment of formal proposal, an event steeped in ritual and tradition, where the unspoken becomes spoken, albeit in a highly formalized and ceremonial manner. This isn't a casual, "Will you marry me?" whispered over coffee. It's a meticulously choreographed declaration, witnessed and sanctioned by society, and it's like a wedding proposal that's also a highly theatrical play. And you're the leading man, trying not to trip over your lines. The days leading up to the proposal are filled with a nervous anticipation that hums beneath the surface of your polite demeanor. You consult with your own family, particularly your father or a trusted male elder, who will formally approach her family on your behalf. This isn't a direct proposal from you to her, at least not yet. Instead, it's a formal overture between the two families, a delicate negotiation of terms and expectations, solidifying the alliance that your personal affection has initiated. You feel like a diplomat negotiating a peace treaty, but instead of countries, it's hearts, and the stakes are just as high. You meticulously prepare for the formal delegation that will be sent to her family. This might involve preparing a formal letter of intent, drafted with the utmost care and respect, outlining your honorable intentions and your desire for a union. Gifts, appropriate to your status and her family's, are chosen with great consideration. These aren't personal tokens of affection, but symbols of respect and good faith between the families. Every detail, from the calligraphy on the letter to the wrapping of the gifts, speaks volumes of your seriousness and respect. It's like preparing a formal business proposal, but instead of profits, you're proposing a lifetime of partnership. And if they reject your proposal, you don't just lose the deal, you lose the dream. It's a commonly known historical fact that in many historical societies, marriage proposals were often initiated by the groom's family or a designated representative approaching the bride's family, rather than a direct proposal from the man to the woman. This emphasized marriage as a family alliance and a legal contract, where financial and social standing were paramount. The personal feelings of the couple, while increasingly important, were often secondary to these broader considerations. Imagine your parents proposing to your partner's parents on your behalf. "So, we were thinking our son, he's, eligible. And your daughter, she's also eligible." Thoughts. The meeting between the two families' representatives is a highly formal affair, conducted with decorum and gravity. They discuss not just the union of two individuals, but the joining of two lineages, two fortunes, and two reputations. Topics such as dowry, inheritance, and the future residence of the couple are openly, if politely, discussed. While these conversations might seem cold and transactional to a modern sensibility, they were considered essential for ensuring the stability and prosperity of the future union. You stand on the periphery, a silent, anxious observer, hoping that the negotiations proceed smoothly. You feel like a product being discussed at a board meeting, and your entire future rests on their quarterly projections. If the familial negotiations are successful, and a preliminary agreement is reached, then, and only then, does the opportunity arise for a more personal proposal. This moment, though sanctioned, retains an air of profound intimacy and nervousness. You arrange to see her alone, perhaps in a secluded corner of a garden, or a quiet drawing room, though still within the general vicinity of watchful eyes. The setting is carefully chosen to convey both romance and discretion. You approach her, your heart pounding a rhythm against your ribs louder than any waltz. Your carefully chosen words, practiced countless times in the solitude of your mind, now feel inadequate. You might take her hand, gently, reverently, conveying the depth of your feeling without crushing her delicate fingers. You speak of your admiration, your respect, and, finally, your deepest affection, culminating in the formal question. "Miss her last name. May I have the honor of soliciting your hand in marriage?" The phrase is formal, yet in this context, it carries the weight of a lifetime of commitment. It's like delivering the most important speech of your life, but the audience is just one person, and their approval means everything. Her response, too, is a delicate balance of decorum and emotion. She might blush, cast her eyes down modestly, and then perhaps quietly and gracefully accept your offer. Her acceptance is conveyed not with a shout, but with a soft yes, perhaps accompanied by a gentle squeeze of your hand, a slight nod of her head, or a shy smile that speaks volumes. This quiet affirmation sends a wave of relief and joyous triumph through you. The long journey of unspoken desires has finally found its voice, and it is a symphony of mutual consent. A unique or lesser-known detail is that the engagement ring, while symbolic of commitment, wasn't always a central part of the proposal itself in many historical periods. While rings certainly existed, their prominence and the expectation of a diamond engagement ring as we know it today developed over time, particularly gaining traction in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In earlier times, other tokens of commitment, or even just a formal agreement between families, were more common. Imagine proposing without a ring today. That might be a deal breaker. Wait, where's the bling? You might then present a small, symbolic token, perhaps a family heirloom ring or a delicate locket, as a physical representation of your newly formalized bond. This gift is a promise, a tangible sign of your commitment to the future you will build together. It's a moment of shared understanding, a quiet celebration between two individuals who have, through a labyrinth of societal rules, found their way to each other. You are now officially betrothed. The news of your engagement spreads quickly through your respective social circles, announced not by a boisterous party, but by formal announcements in newspapers or by discreet calling card exchanges. Congratulations are offered, and the planning for the wedding, another intricate ritual of societal expectations, begins. You now move from the world of unspoken courtship to the world of spoken, yet still ritualized, formal arrangements. The rules change, but the underlying commitment to propriety and tradition remains. It's like leveling up in a very polite video game, where the next level involves more paperwork and less sneaking around. Historians still debate the extent to which genuine romantic love was truly a primary factor in these arranged or formally sanctioned marriages, especially given the emphasis on familial and economic considerations. While some individuals undoubtedly found love within their unions, it's unclear how widespread or essential deep romantic affection was considered at the moment of proposal. Was it about finding a soulmate or securing a suitable match? The truth, as always, is likely a complex tapestry, woven with threads of both practicality and burgeoning emotion. It's like debating if people truly loved their arranged marriages or if they just made the best of a good situation. Probably a mix, right? You look at her now, your fiancé, with new eyes. The glances, the flowers, the veiled letters, all those unspoken messages have led you to this moment. There's a new sense of comfort between you, a quiet understanding that comes from a shared journey through the complexities of courtship. The formal proposal, though dictated by societal norms, has solidified your bond, transforming a fragile connection into a strong, unbreakable promise. You leave her side, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment and anticipation. The path to marriage is now clear, paved with tradition and the blessings of your families. You have navigated the intricate dance of formal courtship, culminating in a moment where your heart's unspoken desire was finally given voice, accepted and affirmed. Your story, once a symphony of whispers, now moves towards a grand, formal declaration of lifelong commitment. And as you prepare for the next chapter, you realize that sometimes the most profound declarations are born from the longest, most patient silences. You've sealed the deal. And now, the wedding planning truly begins. Good luck with that. You stand on the precipice of a new life, having successfully navigated the labyrinthine paths of unspoken courtship, secured familial blessings, and formalized your proposal. Now, your journey leads you into the realm of arranged marriages, where the foundations of a union are often laid not by romantic love alone, but by strategic alliances, economic considerations, and the intricate tapestry of family legacy. You are about to enter a marriage that, while sanctioned and celebrated, may not have begun with the passionate declarations often idealized in modern tales. It's like being cast in a play where the lead roles are assigned based on compatibility charts and financial statements, not on chemistry readings, and you still have to make it look convincing. The period between formal engagement and the wedding itself is a time of intense preparation, not just for the ceremony, but for the life you are about to share. While your formal proposal established the commitment, the understanding of love within an arranged marriage often evolved differently. It was a love built not on initial infatuation, but on respect, duty, shared responsibilities, and a quiet, growing companionship. You understand that your role now is to cultivate this bond, to nurture the seeds of affection that, though perhaps not fiery at first, could blossom into something profound and enduring. It's like planting a sturdy oak tree instead of a delicate rose. It takes time to grow, but its roots run deep. You engage in a series of supervised premarital interactions. These might include formal visits, chaperoned outings, or even joint attendance at social events. These are opportunities for you to learn more about your future spouse, beyond the carefully curated image presented during courtship. You observe her habits, her reactions to different situations, her interactions with others. Similarly, she observes you. This period is a subtle dance of discovery, where you both begin to peel back the layers of formality and reveal glimpses of your true selves. It's like a prolonged, polite job shadow, where you're both evaluating if you can work together for the next 50 years. It's a commonly known historical fact that arranged marriages were prevalent across many cultures and social classes for centuries, and often into the modern era. While the specific customs varied, the underlying principle was often the same. Marriage was a strategic alliance between families to consolidate wealth, power, or social standing, rather than solely a matter of individual romantic choice. This practice ensured social stability and the continuation of family legacies, often prioritizing collective good over personal desire. Imagine trying to explain that to a reality TV show contestant today. You mean I can't pick who I fall in love with? What about my journey? You might find yourself discussing practical matters, the management of your household, your future roles, your shared responsibilities. These conversations, though mundane on the surface, are crucial for building a stable foundation. You discover her strengths, her practical mind, her gentle humor. She, in turn, learns of your ambition, your steadfastness, your quiet devotion. These small discoveries, revealed through conversation and observation, begin to weave the fabric of your shared life. It's like building a house, brick by brick. Each conversation is a new layer of mortar, making the structure stronger. There's a subtle beauty in this quiet unfolding of affection. Without the initial blaze of passionate love, there's less pressure, more room for respect and understanding to grow organically. You learn to appreciate her kindness, her intelligence, her resilience. These are the qualities that form the bedrock of a lasting partnership. You realize that love, in this context, is not just a feeling that strikes like lightning, but a bond that is carefully cultivated, like a rare and precious garden. You're not just accepting a spouse, you're accepting a companion, a partner, a fellow traveler on the long road of life. A unique or lesser-known detail about arranged marriages is that, despite the lack of initial romantic love, many couples reported finding deep affection and satisfaction in their unions over time. This was often attributed to shared commitment, mutual respect, and the pragmatic understanding that a successful marriage required effort and cultivation. Love was often seen as an outcome of marriage, rather than its prerequisite. It's like starting a band with someone you don't initially click with, but through shared experiences and hard work, you end up making beautiful music together, and maybe even falling in love with their bass lines. The wedding ceremony itself is a grand affirmation of the familial alliance, a public declaration of the new bond. You stand beside your spouse, perhaps a little nervous, a little overwhelmed by the gravity of the occasion. As you exchange vows, you commit not only to her, but to her family, and to the future you will build together. It's a moment of profound social and personal significance, marking the transition from individual to a unit within the larger societal structure. You are no longer just you. You are part of an us, and that us is connected to a larger them. After the ceremony, you embark on your life together. The early days are a period of adjustment, of learning each other's quirks and rhythms, of navigating the unspoken rules of your new shared household. You discover that she hums softly when she concentrates, that she prefers her tea with a touch of honey, that she has a quiet strength you hadn't fully perceived. These small revelations deepen your understanding and appreciation of her. It's like moving into a new apartment with a roommate. You're discovering all their habits, but in this case, you're committed to them for life. Historians still debate the emotional experiences of individuals within arranged marriages. Was there widespread unhappiness and resentment, or did most people genuinely adapt and find contentment? Even love within these unions. The subjective nature of human emotion and the varying social contexts across different periods make it difficult to draw definitive conclusions. It's like trying to get a definitive answer on whether people actually enjoy doing taxes. Some do, some don't, and most just tolerate it. As the years pass, your relationship deepens. The respect you initially shared grows into a profound affection, a quiet, unwavering love born of shared experiences, mutual support, and the unwavering commitment you made on your wedding day. You face challenges together, celebrate triumphs together, and mourn losses together. She becomes your confidant, your partner in managing the household, and the steady anchor in your life. You realize that the love that blossoms from an arranged marriage can be as strong, if not stronger, than any love born of passionate infatuation. You look at her now, years later, her hair perhaps streaked with silver, her face softened by time. The youthful glances and veiled letters of your courtship feel like a distant memory, replaced by the comfortable familiarity of shared life. The love you have found is not the dramatic, fiery kind portrayed in novels, but a quiet, enduring flame, nurtured by duty, respect, and a deep, abiding companionship. You realize that love in all its forms is a journey, not a destination, and that sometimes the most beautiful stories are written in the quiet moments, in the unspoken understandings, and in the steadfast commitment to a future built together. You chose a partner, and in doing so, you cultivated a love that stood the test of time, proving that sometimes the best love stories are those that begin with a well-intentioned arrangement. And perhaps that's the most romantic twist of all. You have journeyed through the intricate tapestry of courtship, from the silent glances of the ballroom to the formal pronouncements of an arranged marriage. Now, as the years have turned into decades, you find yourself contemplating the enduring legacy of this unspoken language of love, and how the art of connection has transformed across the ages, from the most subtle signals to the unfiltered directness of the modern era. You are a living bridge between two worlds, a testament to how profoundly the human heart has sought and found its match. No matter the societal constraints, it's like watching an old black and white movie suddenly burst into vibrant color, realizing the story is still the same, just told differently. You sit in your study, a comfortable armchair creaking softly beneath you, the fire in the hearth casting dancing shadows on the walls. Outside, the world has changed dramatically. Carriages are giving way to automobiles, gaslight to electricity, and the rigid social codes you once navigated are softening, almost dissolving. You reflect on the myriad ways you communicated with your beloved, then your fiancé, now your cherished spouse. The memory of a fan fluttering, a perfectly placed camellia, a veiled phrase in a secret letter. These moments now seem almost impossibly delicate, exquisitely fragile, yet profoundly meaningful. They were the building blocks of a love that has stood the test of time. You observe the younger generations around you. They speak openly of their feelings, using words like love and date, with a casualness that would have once been scandalous. They meet in public places without chaperones, engaging in conversations that would have been unthinkable in your youth. There's a certain efficiency to their directness, a refreshing honesty that bypasses the intricate dances you once performed. But you also sense a loss, a certain depth that perhaps came from the very struggle of silent communication. It's like comparing a meticulously hand-painted portrait to a quick selfie. Both capture an image, but one holds a richness born of effort and time. It's a commonly known historical fact that the late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a significant shift in dating customs, moving away from formal chaperoned courtships towards more informal dating, where individuals had greater autonomy in choosing partners and engaging in recreational activities together. The rise of urbanization, new forms of entertainment, and changing social attitudes all contributed to this evolution. Imagine explaining Tinder to someone from 1890. You just swipe a picture and then you meet them alone. They'd probably faint. You recall the immense patience required for courtship in your time. Weeks, months, even years could pass before a formal proposal was made. Each step a carefully considered move. Now, it seems, relationships blossom and fade with astonishing speed. The digital age, you hear, allows for instant connection, but perhaps also for instant disconnection. There's a trade-off, you muse, between the speed of communication and the depth of its roots. A quick text might convey, "I like you," but does it hold the same weight as a carefully chosen rose, or a subtle adjustment of a cravat? It's like comparing fast food to a slow-cooked meal. Both fill you up, but one leaves a more lasting impression. You remember the thrill of deciphering a hidden message, the quiet triumph of being understood without a word being spoken. That sense of shared secret, that intimate understanding, forged a bond that felt uniquely yours. Modern communication, while efficient, perhaps sacrifices some of that romantic mystery. Every thought, every feeling seems to be immediately articulated, leaving less to the imagination, less to the subtle art of interpretation. It's like reading the plot summary of a mystery novel instead of slowly unraveling the clues yourself. You get to the end faster, but you miss out on the journey. A unique or lesser-known detail about the transition to modern dating is the role of the automobile. As cars became more common, they provided young couples with unprecedented opportunities for privacy and unsupervised outings, fundamentally changing the dynamics of courtship. No longer confined to the parlor or the public park under the chaperone's watchful eye, couples could drive to secluded spots, creating a new kind of intimacy that was previously impossible. It's like the invention of private messaging for relationships, but with horsepower. You reflect on the resilience of love, how it adapts and finds a way, no matter the era or its constraints. Whether through veiled glances or direct declarations, the human need for connection, for companionship, remains constant. The methods may change, the etiquette may evolve, but the core desire to find a kindred spirit, to share a life, endures. You look at your spouse, sleeping peacefully beside you, and you realize that your love story, though built on unspoken rules, is no less profound, no less real than any modern romance. In fact, perhaps it is even more so. Having been forged in the crucible of restraint and subtlety, the conversations you had, once so formal and guarded, evolved into comfortable, easy banter. The shared silences, once filled with nervous anticipation, now speak of deep understanding and a lifetime of shared history. You understand each other's moods with a glance, a sigh, a barely perceptible shift in posture. You no longer need fans or specific flower arrangements to communicate. Your hearts speak a language all their own, refined over decades of quiet companionship. It's like learning to communicate telepathically, but only with your spouse. Which, let's be honest, would solve a lot of modern relationship problems. Historians still debate whether the increased freedom in modern dating has led to happier and more successful marriages compared to those formed under stricter, more traditional courtship systems. while individual autonomy and partner selection is valued today. Some scholars argue that the emphasis on practical compatibility and familial support in past eras may have contributed to greater stability. Was love truly better before, or is it simply different? It's like debating whether the old way of doing anything was inherently better than the new way. The answer usually depends on who you ask, and when. You feel a profound sense of peace. Your life, though shaped by the strictures of a bygone era, has been rich and full. You have experienced a unique form of courtship, one that demanded patience, observation, and an appreciation for the unspoken. And in doing so, you have discovered a love that transcended societal norms, a bond that grew from the quiet understanding of two souls navigating a world of subtle signals. Your story is a testament to the enduring power of human connection, in all its fascinating and sometimes baffling forms, as the last embers glow in the hearth, casting long, fading shadows. You close your eyes. The journey through the silent language of love has concluded. You realize that whether it's a lingering glance or a direct text, a single rose or 1,000 heart emojis, the desire to connect, to be seen, to be loved, remains the most constant and beautiful part of the human experience. Your love story, born in whispers, now resonates through the ages, a quiet melody in the grand symphony of human connection. And as you drift off to sleep, you carry with you the quiet satisfaction of a life well lived, a love well found, and a story well told. Now, take a deep breath, feel the warm blanket embracing you, and the sound of the fan still gently lulling your ears. The story of how people date without saying a word has come to an end, a journey full of sophistication, romance, and sometimes quite troublesome. Right. We have seen that. No matter how many rules or barriers society sets, the human heart always finds a way to connect, to express its feelings, and whether it is through a glance, a flower, or a secret letter, love always finds its voice. Tonight, when you close your eyes, remember that every gesture, every look, every choice can carry a message. Let those thoughts drift away, gently like smoke, and make way for deep sleep. Relax your body, allow your mind to wander into peaceful dreams, and where all worries disappear and only peace remains. Wishing you a good, deep sleep.